Match number 31 is where our attention lies on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout powered by Dell. Looking ahead to the game between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Kings 11 Punjab. Joining me shortly, Deep Dasgupta and Ajit Agarkar. Right, gentlemen, you know the drill. Here come our preview statements. First up, Deep, Bangalore need to go harder in the power play.
Looking at the numbers, yes. I'm a little surprised looking at Aaron Finch especially. I mean, Padikkal is doing what he can and he's doing a good job of that. But Finch at times seems to be a little overcautious, and I think he needs to play a little more freely the way he does for Australia. In general, they've been all right. They've been pretty decent.
You expect things to change, them to go harder in Sharjah, or do we not know what to expect in Sharjah anymore, Ajit?
Yeah, I think it'll all be dependent on the conditions. We've seen it change, especially in Dubai and even in Sharjah. That one game, it seemed like the ball stuck in the pitch a little bit more than what we've seen. So you don't want to sort of go into the game thinking that yes, a 200 is a minimum requirement. I think they'll probably have to assess quickly enough in the first couple of overs, 3 overs, maybe once the batsmen are out there. Whether they need to go extra hard, I'm not sure. I think it'll all depend on the conditions for me. At the moment, RCB look like getting on a bit of a run, which is a great sign for them.
All right. Our next statement, Ajit, is Kings 11 Punjab struggling at the moment, and we're saying they should bring in Chris Gayle at Sharjah. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Chris Gayle, it's very difficult to say don't bring in Chris Gayle, isn't it? It's a hard one. I mean, he's been one of the greats of T20 cricket. You don't quite know what form or fitness he's in. I'm not a big fan of that move. You know, having seen Mayank and KL Rahul enough this season, you don't want to disrupt that, even if it's with a Chris Gayle. So if they do that, then one of them has to drop down the order, and for me, I don't think that's the best move.
All right, Deep.
Well, that's an interesting thought, because also who would he replace? Now, the question is then Maxwell. And to be honest, Maxwell hasn't done himself any favors this season. So now if you change Maxwell with Chris Gayle, and then again, the next question is Chris Gayle has to open, then who goes down? And then that brings that whole question of maybe KL Rahul going at number 3, then Puran at 4, which does not sound that bad an option, to be honest, and especially at Sharjah, because as Ajit mentioned about his fitness also, I mean, the other grounds are big, they're pretty big in size, you've got a field as well. So with Sharjah and the ground size comparatively smaller, if you have to make that move, I think this is the right game for it.
All right, let's go to our next one, and it's all the spotlight and the focus is on KL Rahul, Deep, and we're saying Rahul should bat more freely.
Well, yeah, but again, it's very easy to say bat freely, but if you look at the situation, I mean, okay, Nicholas Pooran is doing well in the last couple of games, but apart from that, not much contribution was there from the middle order. It's easy to say play freely, but I can understand why he's got that approach as a captain, as a leader of the pack. But ideally speaking, yes, you would want him to play freely, because we've seen what he can do when he bats freely. I mean, batting with a strike rate of 140, 130 comes naturally to him if he's batting the way he does.
You know, he's countered this strike rate criticism quite strongly, Ajit, saying that, it's on situation and whatnot. I guess the counter to that is the team's still losing and Rahul's good enough to go harder and perhaps not take games as deep.
Yes and no. I guess I'm a little bit. I'm siding with Rahul on this a little bit. I think there's too much being made of his strike rate. Yeah, okay, he perhaps can play a little bit quicker, but he's still getting heaps of runs. I mean, he's still the leading run scorer in this competition. So I'm not too fussed with the way he's playing, to be honest. I mean, a couple of innings that we've seen live, he's batted beautifully in not so easy conditions and batted the situation. It's just that they haven't gotten over the line, and that perhaps is the thing that he needs to do. Whether that's playing quicker or actually being there at the end to score the winning runs, you can always debate. But at the moment, I don't seem to have any. At least I don't have any issues with the way Rahul's playing.
All right, let's go to our next statement. Royal Challengers Bangalore, Ajit, should stick with the extra bowling option of Mohammed Siraj.
I think so. I mean, look, you're putting a bit more pressure on your top 4 or 5 or 6, but they're really good top 4, 5, 6. Morris coming in the team has made a big difference because he can bat and bowl. So if you can afford to push that extra bowling option in your team without losing too much of the balance, then I'm always for it, in my opinion, because people are going to have tough days in T20 cricket, or bowlers are going to have tough days in T20 cricket. Unless the pitch starts slowing down, and then you can get away with a bowler less. If you have the option, always take that option. And at the moment, because they're playing well, RCB, they can actually afford to take that option, and just gives Virat Kohli a lot more variety to play around with.
Yeah, I guess the replacement was Gurkirat Man, who's played a few games and not had a bad deep. So does this selection call make sense to you as well?
Yeah, definitely yes. Especially at Sharjah, where apart from that one game, and even in that one game, it was what 170, 70 odd runs scored, which by no stretch of imagination, a low scoring game. So yeah, I mean, on a surface where it helps the batsman a little more, it always helps to kind of have an extra bowling option. And as you mentioned rightly, I mean, if you replace him with a batsman, and someone like Gurkirat hasn't had a go so far in this game with a bat, so yeah, might as well go with Siraj.
And finally, for the Kings 11 Punjab, they should persist with Mujibur Rahman, we're saying, and use him in the power play, where he's bowled just 2 overs in the 2 games that he's had so far. Deep?
I think he should bowl in the power play. I think he's a wicket-taking option, especially in the power play. Especially in the power play, he's been fabulous bowling in the power plays, whether it's for Afghanistan or all the franchisee cricket that he plays. So yeah, should go with him.
Ajit, have Punjab missed a trick by playing him but not bowling him with the new ball?
Yeah, I think we did one of the games in Abu Dhabi here, and we were surprised. The same game, I think, with KKR, if I'm not wrong. And then he looked a lot less potent, if you like, whether it was rustiness, not having played a bit of cricket. So maybe that's the dilemma that they have, that he's maybe not bowling as well as we've seen him bowl before. To then start with him, they've had second thoughts. But any wicket taker should start in those 6 overs, in my opinion. Whoever your best bowlers are should at least have a go. Wicket set up the game, make life a lot easier bowling in the middle and towards the end of the innings. So if he is one of the likelier guys to get you wickets, then he should be bowling there.
All right, thank you very much, Ajit Agarkar and Deep Dasgupta, for looking ahead to this game between Punjab and Bangalore on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.